Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, maybe while the others are getting, let me just take this chance to thank CIT, especially Ravi and Sham, for inviting us to really come and share with you this experience in the 3D world. So, okay, maybe we'll wait a while for them to come in. Okay, I should start. Okay, I understand that this morning there has been, because I was not here earlier in the morning, so I've heard some of my colleagues telling me that there has been some very good speakers who talked about the Web 2.0 trends and some of the things that we have been seeing lately. So I hope my interpretation of Web 2.0 is something that is relevant to you guys as well. Okay, I think in very simple terms, what I would really think that Web 2.0 really represents and has a significance is very much in two big domains. One is in the terms of interactivity, knowing that now everything that we see on the web or in terms of email or anything that we have is very much in a very interactive way. The other thing that I think Web 2.0 is heading is definitely in terms of interconnectivity. Knowing that whatever that you see will be linked to you somewhere, somehow. It is all about a world of connecting yourselves to the outside world. So maybe looking at some of the things that we have been looking at in recent trends. So some of these are definitely not new to you. From the wikis to MySpace to blogs that you read every day and to YouTube videos where you learn things or you see some of the entertainment to the current craze about Facebook. I think it all sums up to everything about Web 2.0 and where the trend is going. So what today I'm really doing is to sum up another trend, which is on the 3D virtual platform of Second Life. So I was very lucky in this 1 year I've been attached to this project to lead this project for NUS Second Life, where we have launched the virtual campus for NUS. So can I have a show of hands, how many of you have actually heard about the NUS Second Life initiative? So there are still people who doesn't know what is happening there. Okay. So I'm sure you saw this poster, because this poster was hung from the Central Library, and it was a huge thing where everybody started going to the URL to find out what's happening, to find out how they can be part of this new community that is spinning off in NUS. So if you follow the URL, you'll see this portal that we have built for NUS community. So like I said before, this is not just for students or for academic staff, because as a part of the NUS community, you could be also a support staff, and you can also be part of this virtual community. So over here, if you come to the portal, you can click on the portal link to basically register for an account and get yourself started. So this is actually a screenshot of what you see in Second Life. So we are also inside the campus e-zines and magazines where the students are also publicizing about this new virtual platform. Okay, so as an intro to some of those who have not seen what has happened before, I shall show you a video for Second Life, and especially pertaining to the NUS Second Life. So I hope it's after lunch, so let's not fall asleep. So hopefully this will be interesting. Okay, what you just saw there was actually scenes from Second Life, which are actually done in this clips called, which we call machinima. Machinima is actually a combination of machine and cinema. So it is also a huge trend out there now where people are actually going into gaming engines where they produce videos from platforms like Second Life or maybe World of Warcraft. So this is actually a machinima clip that was created specially for a very prestigious program for 2009. So thanks to the name dropping from the Provost's office and the Dean of FASS. So we are conducting part of the lessons for the prestigious program for the summer program for Asia now. And parts of it will be held inside Second Life. And there will be a lot of social interaction and social networking activities prior to the program start as well. So like I say, this is how it looks like in Second Life for the NUS Virtual Campus. So if you have time, you can actually go to the URL and look at how the portal has been directing our student communities and our NUS communities to the Second Life platform itself. Maybe I shall show you how it can be done inside Second Life. Okay, right now, as you can see, this is actually the virtual campus of NUS. If you see on top, yeah, like I think some of you will be very impressed because inside this virtual world, you can basically do anything you want, and you can actually fly. So right now, this is probably where we are. So we have actually mirrored some of the buildings and monuments in NUS in real life, inside Second Life as well. So that when you land inside NUS Second Life, you immediately know that you're inside NUS. So there's a whole array of buttons and commands here that you can use, like flying, or you can do snapshots, you can search, you can communicate with people. So right now I'm going to fly to the base of this place, and that's where some of the students are at. Okay, so as you can see, we come in all shapes and sizes. And basically, it's an online persona that you can be anything you want to be, just so long as you customize it and personalize it. So from animals to half animals or to anybody. And I can show you how I look like in the front. So you're looking at the back of my view. And I can do a close-up all the way to how I look like. This is my virtual self. So this is me on a good day. So there are days that I'm also an animal or things like this. So at the unit hall itself, when you land, after you register when you land, you should be able to see some of the basic commands that will orientate you to how to move around. And if you click on some of the links here, you actually bring you to some of the blogs that the students have been creating and updating into their lives about their lives inside NUS Second Life. So I guess there's a lot of places that I can show you inside Second Life, but I think nothing will beat you. Nothing will beat the experience of you experiencing it yourself. So if you have the time, do go inside there to have a look around. I will come back to this demo later on, because now I have to fight for attention for Second Life itself in my slides. Okay, so the whole NUS Second Life project has always been living on the mantra of co-design, co-build, and co-own system where we actually run a lot of our activities with our students inside Second Life. Because when we did some of the case studies of the existing people who are already inside Second Life, I think a lot of them are pretty much deserted because the students do not feel part of this virtual community. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to run this, which is I think pretty new in NUS, was to run this on a co-design, co-build, and co-run place with the students. So just do a quick one on this. So the student activities are really based in 3 realms of activities. So very much the Second Life activities, the real world activities that you see inside campus, and also the online portal activities that we have. So it's all revolving around this whole mantra of co-design, co-build, and co-own. So currently there's an existing committee of students who are running this campus with us now. Oops, it's too fast. Okay. So what do we really have inside NUS Second Life now? We are 4 islands wide. This is a pretty impressive number, knowing that each island is not small. So it's measuring around 65,000 square meters, which is 16 acres. So inside these infrastructures of these 4 islands, these are some of the buildings that we currently have. So they all serve very different purposes in terms of social activities, in terms of academic activities, and in terms of a lot of other creativity activities as well. So you must be thinking, why NUS Second Life? Why not other platforms, or why not other things? So if you look at, put it this way, you have seen news reporting about Second Life, or you've heard about people talking about Second Life. A lot of it is really about this virtual world that is beyond what we have in our real world. So Second Life has been established quite a number of years ago, since 2003, and it's a pretty much stabilized environment with a very big user base. So we did talk about other platforms like this, but I think one of the most important essence about Second Life is also because there's no traditional game objectives inside this virtual platform. There's no winners, there's no losers. So a lot of you can come in without the objective that you have to fight this mission to complete the game. Because inside Second Life, you can do anything you want, and you can really come in for education purpose, you can come in for social networking purposes as well. So there's really no specific objectives that you need to do there. And one of the most important and the most revolutionizing experience is a first-hand experience as the avatar yourself. So, and it's highly interactive because whatever you touch has a reaction, and whatever you see is almost can be scripted to give you a reaction. So inside Second Life, I think it thrives on also the ability and the liberty to create things at your own. And you can even use it purely as a creative tool set. And because things can be accelerated, time scales it can be accelerated. So it's actually pretty conducive for you to actually prototype some of the designs or some of the things that you want others to feedback to you about. So Second Life has been known to be a platform where you can do a lot of prototyping for some of the things that you have seen. And last but not least is a contiguous place that connects everyone and everything into one big platform. So it has everything under the roof. Just go through the search, and you can usually search for a lot of things that you can easily get on Google as well. But this time around in 3D, in a very 3D view where you can actually touch or feel it. Okay, so let me just do a very quick report card of what we have achieved in this 2008, where we actually achieved quite a bit of the academic objectives as a virtual platform inside Second Life. So in the first semester, we have pretty much 3 modules from School of Computing. So these are some of the modules that we have conducted lessons inside Second Life. So let me just go to a few of the computing modules to tell you how the modules have been conducting. So very much, this module itself is not a huge module where there's a lot of students, but this module is a intermediate module where students are actually required to come up with systems for a bank, for a banking system for a real life bank. So what happened is the usual practice was to engage a real life expertise in the bank to come to SOC itself to actually give a talk and basically tell them what are the requirements of the system that they need for the students to build at the end of the module. But this time around, what this module has done is something totally different from what they usually do. The industrial expert from the bank was actually inside Second Life. And the students are basically broken up into the different tutorial groups, and they came in at periodic times. I think each tutorial group is supposed to come in twice into Second Life to basically come in and ask for all the requirements that they need for the system they need to build. So each of these students comes in different tutorial groups to speak to the industrial expert, and at the end of it all, they need to come up with the banking system that will satisfy the needs of the bank. So this has been basically has been done in a different way, where it used to be a time where you need to do this in real life, where the industrial expert needs to spend the whole day here. But this time around, the industrial expert was actually at work, using Second Life to communicate with them. Okay. So this is the other 2 modules which are similar. what they do is, all the students are broken into different groups of tutorial, and they come into Second Life in a class where they actually discuss and debate what they will usually do inside real life lessons. So you must be thinking, why would I want to go into Second Life to do this when I can do it in real life? It's a very good question, and I usually like to describe this because one of the biggest, I think, thing that we achieve from this is, I'm sure even in a normal big hall like this, when you're in class, you tend to have students who do not speak up. So what has happened is, usually in the classes, the girls are very quiet. The guys are usually very aggressive in giving their opinions about what they feel. But inside Second Life, the girls type a lot faster, and the girls can... it's a strange phenomenon, but it happens. So the girls actually scored a lot better than the guys this time. And the lecturer saw it as a very big avenue for the girls to actually, score better in class participation. Which is why SOC has actually done these 2 modules in the 2 semesters consecutively already, because they saw a remarkable difference from what they do in real life. Okay, so this is something that is done with arts as well. Arts is also running a module that is very discussion-based, where students come in to participate in the class. So they discuss real-life issues like the Web 2.0 and about the challenges in privacy. And they have guidelines like this that was presented to them during class, and they're supposed to prepare for the class and come in to debate about it. So as usual, the girls also did better than the guys this time, but the guys are also equally aggressive. So I think what we saw was not just a heightened level of participation, but was also an increase in the quality of the input that they saw, because a lot of them came in very much prepared for the class. Because in class, real life class, you will see the quiet ones usually keeping extremely quiet because they are not prepared. But in Second Life, what we do is we get them to class, we show them what we have, and whatever that they typed out in the main are actually logged for grading later by the lecturer itself. So the students realized that there was a need for them to score in this, and they came in all prepared. So it was evidently an improvement to the usual class that they have. And I think what's most important is there was an element of fun. So the students came in prepared in all sorts of shapes and sizes, as you can see here. So this is a typical class that you will see inside Second Life, which I cannot show you because I cannot get everyone to come in at the same time. And another issue about this is because the lecturers are very protective of the classes. So these classes are actually protected by a Sentry system. If you are not registered for that class, you will be automatically kicked out of the room. So the students all came in registered, and they all came in fully prepared for the class. This is how it looks like. So you see there are people who are dragons, there are people with wings and everything. So just now, the previous slide you saw was actually the TA. She's standing right in front of the question, and behind is actually the rules and regulations for the class. So if you think that real-life logistics in real life is tough, wait till you see in Second Life. There's another whole new world of issues that you need to handle, okay, which I'll discuss later on. So there's another module which is slightly different from the usual module that we have conducted in Second Life, where it's about participation and discussion. This is a module that we did in the first sem of last year, and it's about principles of communication management. So students are all broken up into their tutorial groups, and they all come into Second Life, explore Second Life, research on Second Life and what is it all about. And based on what they have learned for the principles of communication management and marketing, they devised out, they are all broken out into groups to devise out marketing plans on how they can drive a real life campaign with a real life budget. So they were all presented in real life to us about how they want to drive a certain campaign. So the lecturer was very kind to give the campaign as the campaign to launch the NUS Second Life project. So basically I sat through the 32 sessions where the students actually came into Second Life and explored and basically give us what they have explored and what they think is the best way to launch it. So during the second semester, so as you can see, the first 2 modules were the modules that we also conducted in the first semester. The other module that came on board was actually computing and society. But sadly, I think the lecturer was was not willing to tell us what happened inside that lecture because he wants the students to actually go out there to do a survey on what they think about the platform. So I think they intentionally did not tell us because they don't want us to affect the results of the survey, which was why I don't have very much information about it. But I do know that they have conducted interviews with our students, with myself as well, and they, I think, ran a full report on what they think the whole virtual platform has impacted the society. So this is, on the second semester, that's when cybercrime and society came in. And there's another module, which is the social work module as well. Okay, let me just go into the cybercrime and society first. So the students, as usual, are broken out into the different tutorial groups. And they come into Second Life as a class. And this is slightly different from the usual discussions and participation classes that we have because at the end of each of these discussion sessions, they have to write a reaction paper. So this is slightly different from the rest because as much as they are still graded for participation in Second Life, they are also required to write a reaction paper and submit the next day for class. And they'll be graded for both the participation and the reaction paper that they did. Okay. So this is how a typical student's schedule will look like. So as usual, the lectures goes on. You can see the lecture still goes on in this, and the tutorial goes on. But now you have an extra tutorial which is held inside NUS Second Life. So what we have been providing for them is an alternative. In case they do not have access to a PC or a laptop that they can run this, they can also go to the computer lab or to the Think Lab at Computer Center to go for their lessons inside Second Life. Okay, I have intention to show you something. So just now I was talking about the social work module. Okay, the social work module that I was talking about was actually this module called Relationship Skills and Social Work. Okay, a little background into this module. Although I didn't directly liaise with the lecturer for any in-world involvement, but I've been helping some of the students who approached us for help for this. Okay, in this module itself, what the usual way of doing it was to actually go into real life where people role play into roles that they need to apply some of the principles that they need to use for some of the interview skills and social work skills. So in this whole new direction that they have taken on this time around, what they did is they have virtualized the whole filming into Second Life. So let's see how it looks like. I won't show you the full clip, but I will show you parts of the clip. Should be good enough.
Hi Janet, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to hear that. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss today?
It's my older sister. She has been suffering from leukemia for 2 years.
Do you want to share how this is affecting you?
Ever since she has gotten ill, my parents no longer care for me.
Okay, I don't really have time to show you everything. But this is the rough idea of how things have taken on a change for the module itself. So students were given the option of doing the video in terms of inside Second Life and probably making it into a machinima clip that you just saw and then submitting it for grading as well. So the students were happy because they hated the real life logistics about filming, knowing that they have to brave the weather, they need to find a location and venue to do it. But inside Second Life, they can do all this in the comfort of their own homes and basically digitize it and edit it and just gather to edit it. And so it was a whole new resource that they have managed to find. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, so you must be wondering, how do I begin to use NUSSL for my module lessons? So I've broken down into 3 very important aspects. And I think one of the most important ones was to do a learning outcome discussion with the lecturers and the teaching assistants first. What do they really want to achieve out of the modules? So I would foresee it should take 1 to 2 hours for discussion to really see how we can do it inside Second Life. And training for NUSSL for the academics. Okay, I'm I'm sure those who have started will know that inside Second Life, the learning curve is pretty steep. And for academic staff, it's equally steep. So I would think that I would need some time to really train the lecturers itself and the TAs to really get into the kick of it, so that you can get a hang of it before the lesson starts. So I'm allocating 1 hour for orientation about Second Life and another 1 hour for lesson brief. Okay. So the final one will be orientation of the Second Life platform to the students. So I have actually done quite a few sessions like this before to the students from the modules that have participated. What I did is I go to one of their lecture session, do a very quick crash course on how to get started and how to get orientation done when you first land in NUS Second Life. And the students were basically picked up from there so that they will prepare themselves for the classes. This is evidently very important and crucial because when we leave the students to do it on their own, they usually become frustrated because the learning curve is steep, or they usually just don't do it until the last minute. So this was a new step that we don't used to do, but now we feel that it's very important to do. Okay. So like I said, preparations for class is not easy. It might sound like, oh, you can just do it virtually, so it's so easy, but the truth is, logistics inside the virtual world is equally tough. So like you can see, you can have 30 over avatars running at the same time, and getting them to do what you want them to do at the same time is not easy. So this is how a typical scenario will happen during a class or before a class. Like you can see from here, the middle of the podium is where the lecturer is delivering the instructions for the class before the actual thing. And these are some of the code of conduct before classes that you can see. Okay, I'm running short of time. Okay, some of the success drivers that we have. So we have total academic delivery of over 1,000 students, and 5 modules each for each SEM. And we have over 10,000 visitor logins into NUS Second Life, and over 2,500 registered NUS students already. So some of the limitations that we have, like I said, is the steep learning curve, the distractions in other locations and islands, and obviously there's a high-end computer requirements. So the older PCs and notebooks will definitely have a problem running the graphics rendering of this. So there's also intensive network, but I think with a decent bandwidth on the broadband, you should be able to run Second Life properly. And there's also space limits for growth. And definitely you cannot replace the real-life classroom instructions and methodology. So real-life classes still needs to go on. This is just a supplement. So, and last but not least, it's not meant for students with impaired vision or motor skills. Okay, I don't think I can have time to do this, so I'm going to just show you the last video to end off my session here. Okay, I crashed. Yeah, my quick time is a little... Okay, so I can't show you the last video. But the last video is something similar to the first video that you saw, basically showing how you can go to class by teleporting, and basically show you some of the things that we have done in the classrooms for the past 1 year. But I think some of the scenes are already shown in the first video clip. So I hope you enjoyed what I presented today.